round and round. What goes around comes around. I'll tell you why. Okay, this is the song by Rat. Anyway, circular speed. Objects traveling in circular motion have a speed. So how do we define that speed? Velocity is generally considered distance over time. So what distance are we talking about? In the case of a circle, we're talking about the circumference of the circle. C equals 2 pi r, or pi times d. In terms of time, we're talking about the time to go completely around the circle, which we call the period, capital T. Period is the time for one revolution. So we can combine that information to make a formula that says VC, velocity circular, is equal to 2 pi r over t. The velocity is tangential to all points in the circle, meaning at any particular moment of time, that velocity is a straight line path tangential to the circle. If this is true, then why does anything move in a circle? Well, something must force it to, and we call that force a centripetal force. Inertia wants objects to travel in straight lines. So paths can be bent by forces, right? We can push something in a new direction. And the centripetal force is the force that bends an object's path into a circle, pulling it or pushing it towards the center of the circle. It's the center-seeking force. So here's a common misconception. You know, they ride the gravitron, when you get inside, you're pushed to the outer edge. You're experiencing centrifugal force throwing you outside the ride, right? Well, that's not really true. Centrifugal is a fictitious force. What's really happening is, as the gravitron starts to spin, friction between your body and the ride starts you moving. But once you're moving, your body wants to go in a straight line. That's that tangential velocity we were talking about. It's the walls that push you back to the center with the centripetal force, back to the middle of the ride. And that's that experience you have of really feeling yourself pushed against the wall. So what you feel is that centrifugal center fleeing force. It's a fictitious or inertial force experienced from inside a circular motion system. Imagine that you're in a car and you put your water bottle down on the passenger seat, and now as you make a turn, the water bottle flies towards the passenger door. Well, you know you've made a left because the bottle wanted to go straight and it went to the right. What really happens is that a true force, centripetal, pushes you on that circular path. In the case of a car, it's the wheels of the car. So, objects experience something called a centripetal acceleration. That's the unbalanced net force towards the center of a circular path. And we can calculate that using some information. But I want you to know that for us, we're going to use what we call uniform circular motion, meaning we're going to change direction, but we're never going to change the magnitude of the force that we experience. There's the formula for centripetal acceleration, v squared over r, where v is the circular velocity and r is the radius of the circle. Let's try an example problem. What's the centripetal acceleration of a toy swinging with a speed of 12 meters per second on the end of a 1.44 meter long string? Yeah, AC equals v squared over r, so that's 100 meters per second squared. How about example problem number 2 with a car? Okay, this car is going around with a centripetal acceleration of 6 meters per second squared as it moves through a turn with a radius of 5 meters. How fast is it going? Well, the circular velocity must be 5.48 meters per second using AC equals v squared over r. So, when we're calculating FC, we can use Newton's second law. Newton's second law says F equals ma. So, calculating FC equals MAC, where AC is centripetal acceleration. Since centripetal acceleration is v squared over r, we can use the magic of algebra to combine these two into this formula. FC equals mv squared over r. Let's try an example problem of a plane. In this problem, the plane is moving at a 2,000 kilogram plane, making a turn with a radius of 1,000 meters. If it's moving at 300 meters per second, what's the centripetal force it experiences? Yeah, Fc equals mv squared over r, so the centripetal force is 180,000 newtons. How about the merry-go-round? Let's try this problem. How far from the center of the merry-go-round is a 500 kilogram horse that experiences 3 meters per second, that's moving at 3 meters per second if it experiences a force of 3,000 newtons? Yeah, the radius of that ride must be 1.5 meters. And in fact, when we go to Adventureland, we'll calculate that. That's all, gang. See you in class.